While wiping the table, the man discovered a hidden compartment. Curiosity got the better of him, and he opened it. Inside were dozens of letters, all written by a girl from 100 years ago.
Dearest, it is after midnight, and I am at last free to speak to you.
What he didn't know was that at the exact same time, 100 years in the past, a girl named Liz had just returned home. She sat at her desk like always, and opened the secret compartment to write. But to her shock, every letter she'd ever written had vanished. She couldn't have imagined that her most private love letters had ended up in the hands of a man named Scott. A century later, through those letters, Scott learned that Liz was born into a noble family. Her father was forcing her to marry someone she didn't love. She had tried to resist, but in that era, women had no say in their own futures. Liz loved poetry and dreamed of real love, so she wrote letters to a person who might not even exist. Scott was moved by her words and typed out a message on his computer. He urged her not to marry someone she didn't love, because maybe, just maybe, the person she longed for would appear one day.
Who knows? Perhaps I'm the one you seek.
The next day, Scott told his mother everything.
H.G. Wells believed in time travel.
She too was touched by Liz's letters and encouraged Scott to write back. As fate would have it, there was a post office in the northern part of town that had been operating for over a century. That night, Scott couldn't sleep. Liz's words kept replaying in his mind, so he sat down to write a reply.
Dear lady, I've just read the letter. Funny farm, here I come.
Scott drove to the old post office alone and dropped his letter in the mailbox. Unbelievably, by morning, a maid from 100 years ago had received it. At that moment, Liz was on a date with a count. Her father favored the count's influence, and for the sake of the family's future, Liz was being forced to spend time with him.
Wondering if you'd had an opportunity to consider the suggestion I made to you during our previous visit.
Oh, yes, well, I'm still considering it.
She couldn't directly refuse, so she kept stalling, but her father was growing impatient.
Father, I don't love him.
You're 29 years old, Lizzie.
Father, I know you want what you think is best for me, and I know what's expected of me.
It's not merely our expectations.
Liz felt helpless under his pressure, but then she opened the day's letter, and her breath caught in her throat. The letter she thought had gone missing now had a reply. Meanwhile, Scott was relaxing at home until he heard something strange behind him. He walked over to the desk and found a reply in the secret compartment. Liz had written back, full of confusion and disbelief.
Am I in the toils of some feverish dream, or will you violate my privacy again?
Scott quickly wrote another letter, explaining everything to her.
The only explanation I can come up with is that for some reason the connection between us is so strong that we're able to talk to each other across the chasm of time.
Liz was stunned. She was somehow communicating with a man from the future, and the desk was the link between them. From that day on, they wrote to each other almost every day. Scott even drove to the address written on one of Liz's letters. He wanted to see where she once lived. The housekeeper let him inside. Scott looked around, trying to imagine Liz living there. Suddenly,